happy. And how was your colon now? Your colon. You have been in pain last week. It was your intestine, your belly. You were ill. You went to the doctor. Again.
Yes. The last week I have very bad because I eat something that I have not to eat. So I have to go to the doctor and it was terrible. But now I'm fine. I couldn't dance for a week. So it was bad. But now I'm fine. Thank you.
And it's 8 o'clock, yes, in the morning in Mexico.
Yes.
What about Colombia? Same Colombia?
Same time, 8 a.m. here.
I'm sorry to let you wake up at this moment, but because you have chosen to be with me to interview me on Tuesday, and Tuesday I have classes. If it was tomorrow or Monday, it was different because nighttime I'm free. So I'm sorry.
No,
No
it is
problem.
okay.
It's okay.
We as Latin Americans, we are very used to do everything early. For us, it's like everybody starts working here at 8 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So we are used to be up early.
I want to tell you something. The question you have sent to me, I want to add some photos. I will send to you later the photos. Maybe you can add it when you do the editing to the video.
Perfect. Yes.
It will help the audience to understand better what we are talking about.
Okay. Are you okay with the question?
Yes, it was. It's really beautiful things to answer about. And while questioning, you may maybe invent some new questions. You're welcome.
Perfect. Okay. So
You,
I'm
if you
gonna
want to
start.
start, I'm ready.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna start with a little introduction, and then we'll start with the questions. Okay.
And people, are you going to put some translation subtitles or what?
Yes.
Okay.
When the video comes to the social media, there will be people translating online. Okay.
If there is something that you did not understand or I have to explain more, you can ask me whenever you want.
Okay.
I mean, after the video recording, while the editing, and you want to make the translation, if there is anything you didn't understand, you can ask.
Perfect. So, okay. Hola chicas, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidas a otro conversatorio de danza oriental. Hoy estoy muy emocionada porque estoy con dos grandes maestras. Está María Isabel Ángel de Colombia acompañándonos y juntas vamos a conversar un momentito con la profesora Amani de Líbano. Hola María, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien. Feliz de estar acá. Gracias por la invitación. Amani, how are you? We are so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be with you too. How have you been, ladies? I want to say hello to everybody who's watching us, whatever the time is, morning time, evening time. Hope they will enjoy the interview, and thank you for giving me this time and this opportunity to talk to all the dancers of the globe.
Thank you too for accepting and for being here with us. So Amani, we want to start talking about something about your career, where you born, your country, and obviously the dance in your country.
Well, actually, first of all, I'm Lebanese. I'm from Lebanon. It's a small country, but Lebanese people or Phoenicians, they have turned the world. They have visited the world. They have been in Mexico. They have been in Colombia. They have been in all America, South and North America, and all what the scholars they have found a lot about them in the continent of America, and of course in the ancient world. Lebanon, I am Lebanese, and I started my career. It was a coincidence how I have started my career. I used to I used to know a lot of people who were involved in domain of arts in the organization of festival, organizations of hafla. So one time, a friend of us, he was searching for a dancer for his festival. So, and I was at that time still studying because I have 2 degrees, one degree in sociology and in aesthetic and cosmetology and aesthetic. So I was at this time still studying. So he asked me, and it was the final year, uh, would you would you love to dance? Because he knew that I am a dance. I love dance, and he saw me dancing before, and he loved my dance. So he told me, "Do you still love to dance?" I said, "Of course." He asked me, "Would you love to be my guest at the hafla?" I said, I thought he was kidding. I said, "What?" He said, "Yes, I want somebody to dance at the hafla." So it happened, this coincidence was that it has been maybe a week or 2 weeks ahead that I have preparing, and I was working on searching to prepare and to sew an Oriental dance costume. I was not a dancer at this time, but because I am in love with dancing, so I was working on bringing all the stuff or things to sew a dance costume, and I was about to finish it. So uh, I I said, "Oh yes, yes, of course I will." So and that's how I started. So it was a coincidence. It was the opportunity that it came to me, even when I was preparing my Oriental outfit. So this is how I started, and I did not know that I would be a dancer one day. I was in love with dancing, but and it came to me just like a destiny. This is how I start.
That is fantastic. Amani, but were you dancing since you were a little kid, like inside your family, in the family parties like this?
Yes, actually, I was a teenage and I was in love with dancing. I used to dance not only Arabic dance but also Western dance like jazz and something. So and I did not know that I know how to do Arabic dance until that one night we were at the municipality and there were a big festival and they put the music. It was Oriental, and it urged me to dance, and I started dancing without thinking if I was good or not. So after that, I remember that every time we had a hafla or a wedding, so and it was very familiar to dance at the weddings, and I have wrote an article about the wedding in my country and how it happened. So uh, after that, every hafla, I used to gather uh, with my friends, but every time the parents they used to take me out of my friends just for them to dance Arabic, and so I became the dancer of of the village of the family. That's how I started. How
That-
that's how I get my skills in dancing.
Okay, that is so sweet. That is so sweet. And so, what does the society in Lebanon think about the dance? Is like in Egypt or other Arab countries, what do they think about dance and perhaps having a dancer in their own family as a daughter or as a niece? What is the feeling about having dance in their family?
Let me tell you something that at every wedding, there is always a competition between females, okay, who is dancing better. So dancing is not a taboo in our community, in our society. And my family, they believe that dancing is art, and art is something beautiful. Is something it's something very beautiful, and there is no bad art. Art is something very elevated, very high. So there is nothing bad. It's the summit of the beautiful things or how to do the best of you in a domain. This is art. So they believe that art is something beautiful, and there is no bad art. There is bad artists or who pretend to be artists. If not only in dance, but in every kind or domain of art. Can be a dancer, so she's not a good dancer. If it's a painter, so he's a bad painter. If an actor, so he's a bad actor. But there's no bad art. So they believe in this, and this is our community. At the same time, they can see the difference between good and bad, whether in their behaviors on stage and live, so they can distinguish between good and bad.
Okay, so and nowadays we can see the dance in Lebanon, where in weddings, in nightclubs, maybe in big concerts. Where can we see the dance nowadays in Lebanon?
If you're talking now, in Lebanon now we are suffering from economical siege, disaster. It has been maybe it started maybe like a decade ago, and everything is in decadence. How we say we are in a decadence period, unfortunately, due to the economical and political situation. For the time being, now you cannot find dancing at anywhere. First, because of Corona, the COVID-19, and second, due to the economical situation that we are suffering. Um, Unfortunately, people are start to starve due to this siege that we are suffering now.
Okay, okay.
And we don't have neither festivals. Also, this is the first summer that we don't have any activity.
Okay, but if it was not for the coronavirus, could we still see dance in nightclubs just a little bit, or the economical crisis just finished with all the dance?
You can find everything, even with the economical crisis, because still some people wants to enjoy art. But there is many levels, so you can find the stage dance, the theater, and you can find the nightclubs and at the restaurants as well. But it's for the audience to choose where to go, because if you're not lucky, so you won't get the beautiful things to see.
And Amani, when this decadence that you say started, it was late in the 2000, or when do you feel it started to decrease the level of arts and also the economy? When this change start to happen?
Yeah, starting 2000, it started, yes, because but before it was much better. In the 90s, it was much better.
Amani, what can you tell us about all these foreign dancers that are traveling to Lebanon to dance with this crisis? They are dancing, they are not dancing, or we can find a Lebanon dancers too in these places? Or what are they doing?
Well, actually, Stephanie, I don't go to the nightclubs myself. And neither to the restaurants. So I have my work, and I have my theater, I have my classes. So I don't follow what's going on. If something goes on TV, I can see it. Otherwise, I don't go. So I don't know. I don't go to these places. So unfortunately, I don't know what they are doing. I don't know what's happening, how it's going. So I have no idea, but what I know that they are not much foreigner dancers here. What I know a couple of Argentinian who people were in Lebanon. Otherwise, I have no idea.
Okay. So, Amani, this is a very common question from all the dancers who know you is, how do you become one of the most amazing dancers from Lebanon and most respected dancer in Lebanon?
Well, actually, when I came into this world of dance and into this domain, I was working, and I still the same. I haven't changed. I was always working for the love of dance. Uh, I was not thinking about being famous. I was thinking only what to present to the audience. I was always seeking for something new. I was always trying to educate myself in all the ways that it helps me to give something new. So my aim was the love of dance and how to present or how to perform in a way to be myself, convinced about what I am um, performing or offering to the audience. This is how I work and still working. This is how I was working how, and I'm still working the same. I don't think how to be famous. I only think how to enjoy myself, how to be to fulfill my expectation in my dance as well. And I'm always seeking for this. And this is how I work. And being famous, it means that the people they love my work. They love my feelings, and uh, I'm very thankful for this. This is something that really I really appreciate, and I thank God for it. For the respect, it's when you respect yourself on stage, people will respect you. If you don't respect yourself on stage, you cannot blame the people or the audience not to respect you or your art. So it's about what you offer to the audience, you will get back. It's a circle.
Exactly. I think that what you are saying is, I wish, everybody could listen this, and because many dancers, they dance just looking for fame and just looking to be beauty in the stage, just to have beautiful costumes, but they don't care about the audience, or they just care about the ego, and they just care about being or famous, but they don't think about a lasting career, about knowledge, about learning, reading, about respecting the previous generations also. And what you say is very important, respecting themselves, because sometimes we see dancers with very small costumes or very provocative costumes, and it's like, where is the art? So I wish everybody right now, teachers and dancers from all the world, could listen to your words, because nowadays the oriental dance world is just full of ego, vain, superficiality. So I wish everybody just could take 5 minutes to listen and to just think what they are doing.
It's not bad to work on to be beautiful on stage. It's not bad. It's not bad to look to be famous, but it's not all. It's the most important is, in order to be famous, in order to get the respect of the audience, is to leave behind you a beautiful smell, a beautiful idea, beautiful picture. So this is very, very, very important. And to keep on stage with something you need for you are in need, and the knowledge is a must.
Exactly. So for us, Lebanon is like we don't have a lot of information about the dances besides Oriental dance and maybe Dabke. So we would like to know if you have many folkloric dances that perhaps are not that well known, and if you could just guide us a little bit about the folk dances or the dances that we can see in Lebanon.
Um, let me tell you something. There is two kinds of dance in all Arabic region and North Africa, because North Africa is a part of Arabic people as well. There is something that is called Arabic dance. Arabic dance is a general dance to all the people of the region, which are Arabics, and also Turkey, because at the ancient time it was part of the region for Arabic people, and also Greece, because it's near. Arabs people have been there, the Greek been here, so the interfere is always, cultural interfere is always on. So this is what we call Arabic dance, or now they call it Oriental, but it's not belly dance. And the other part, which is the folkloric dance. The folkloric dance, that is, some dances are in common with some countries or a region, some are specific. For example, the dabka, it's not something specific only to Lebanon, but also to Syria, to Jordan, to Iraq, to Turkey, even to Greece, to Palestine, and a part of Egypt as well. So other kind of dances are also, some are specific, some are general for some region, but the styles are different. Because it's same as any kind of even Oriental dance. Even the styles are different according to each dancer. And some dancers imitate some stars, but it does not mean that this is their style. They are imitating, but usually, so each country, each style, but I'm not talking about Oriental dance now. I'm talking only about Dabki or something. So there are some styles, but they are all Dabki. And we have in common a lot of rhythms. Like, for example, we have the Katakufti, which is very similar to Saidi. And a lot of people, they cannot distinguish between Saidi and Katakufti. Even some Arabic dancers, they mix in between. Even the music, so the music is very different. But some, they don't have the sense, even they are Arabic people, they don't have the sense of music, so they can know the difference or feel the difference between the Dabki music and Saidi music, the Dabki rhythm and Saidi rhythm, because the similarity is very big, especially in rhythm, not in music. Music is different. So we have many styles of Dabki in Lebanon, according to the region, and also according to the rhythm, like Katakufti, like Dwek, like we have Laf, we have Ayub, we have Sudasi, we have Musallas, we have plenty.
Okay. So mainly Dabke and Arabic dance, and maybe other dances that are not that well known in Lebanon.
No, the main is Dabki and the Oriental, but the Oriental is bigger than you think. Some dances has faded already with the time. But I think I'm lucky a little bit, because in my village, the old females, the old women was dancing when I was a child, and I was watching them. So I remember a lot of dances that have been executing at the village. There are many style of dances for Oriental.
So, Amani, how we, as an Occidental dancer, can identify this Lebanon Oriental dance? And I wonder if this or exists an Oriental dance Lebanon style?
Um, I wrote maybe a couple of years ago about the styles of an Oriental dance, and I was also talking about the people who were just to divide the styles according to the country. And I have explained uh, about this idea that and how to understand the styles, which is not according to the country but according to the person, to the dancer herself. So if you see that a lot of dancers in the movies in the golden era time, some were not Egyptian, some were coming from various countries of Arabic countries, but you don't know that those are from other Arabic countries, because this style is different according to each one, to each dancer. So Samia Gamal, she's not similar, or she doesn't dance the same as Tahia, while they they have been, both of them, student of Badia Masabni. Also, both of them, they were taught the same technique, but the style is different. How to express yourself is different. And you cannot say that what is happening now, or what they call now Egyptian style, is the style of Tahiyya or the style of Samya. So this idea is wrong. You can say the style of Tahiyya, the style of Carioca, the style of Kiti, the style of Amani, the style of Najwa, but you cannot say this is the style of Egypt or Lebanon. Or so this is something really specific, because the technique is one, but the performance and the dance is different from a dancer to another. And this is what we call style. So it's personal, it's something specific and not general, it's personal and not regional.
Okay, so I don't know, but in some countries of Latin America, this word like cabaret style is something that sounds when they are talking about the Lebanese dance. I don't know if you know something about this, or we are completely lost, or maybe when they say cabaret style in the Lebanese dance, it's something, it has a meaning, or for you it doesn't have anything to be with Oriental dance in Lebanon.
Maria, what do you mean in Lebanese, cabaret Lebanese dance? What is the specification of this dance?
It's very common perhaps in Mexico, so Estefa can talk about this better than, because in Colombia it's not very common, but maybe in Mexico it is.
It is the dance that we can see into the restaurant, into the community, the childbirth, the weddings, the parties, into the Lebanon culture, or I mean, all the, yes, the foreign people who live here in Mexico and they're looking for something from your culture, so they have this kind of cabaret or restaurant dance that we could see into the Lebanese restaurant and Lebanon community.
Maybe it happened that it is happening in the Lebanese community, but the cabaret dance, we have, usually they used to have like the dance at the weddings, and before at the nightclubs or the cabaret. Now, after I have switched the dance into theater, now we have Oriental dance in cabaret, in wedding ceremonies, and in theater. So, cabaret, usually as a professional, I don't understand whatever the country is, that it has a specification as a cabaret, but the cabaret is how to deal with people when they are close to you. When they are near you, don't have big space to dance, and they are surrounded with people who can really feel your breath. So to communicate with them in dancing is and the technique that you are using for dance is different from dancing on a theater. I'm talking professionally. I'm not explaining what is Lebanese cabaret, because there is no Lebanese cabaret. There is a cabaret as a professional, how to deal with the audience, how to deal with your dance, what are the techniques that you used to apply, etc., etc. So I don't know how they call it like this. Maybe sometimes also they call it American cabaret. Sometimes they call, I don't know what, Egyptian. I the idea is I always um, prefer to go professionally, not to put myself in a box or on other people's shoes or other dancers' shoes, in order to have your own style, to work on your own way, so you can have your own identity, is to work on the technique, to know what is good, to know what is not good to this situation as a cabaret. If you go at a wedding, you need to know what to apply at a wedding, how to attract audience and to be successful in a wedding, because usually at a wedding people are not only looking at you, they are talking, they are looking to the bride and bridegroom, they have their families together, the hall is big, so it's different, okay? And there is um, no lighting as it is in cabaret, so it's totally different. And when you go on stage, and this technique, what I am applying when I am on stage, people, audience are far. So your technique should be totally different, and the dimensions of your and the aspect of your dance should be totally different, because people, even if the stage is big and the gallery is big, but people are focusing at you, not as at a wedding ceremony. So you need different technique as well. So you need to know how and what to apply at the cabaret, what to apply at a ceremony, the wedding ceremony, what to apply at a theater. It's totally different. And this is how to work as a professional. But I don't believe that this is a cabaret style, I don't know, style. I don't believe in this neither. I believe in what you know about to be professional and how to apply your dance to put it in a box depending on what situation you are and which situation you are in.
That is super interesting because, you know, Amani, from us here in Latin America, information get very confused, okay? Because
Not only in Latin America, but
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
because the concept is very far from the people of the source, from what we have learned, what we know. So maybe it's a try to understand the countries, the different style that they are seeing. They try to analyze, but unfortunately, sometimes they don't reach the goal of their analyzation. So they don't get into the goal. They go far from the stream. So, but it's not bad. The good is to ask, and I'm always ready to answer to your question whenever, at any time, at any time.
that is fantastic. And also because, you know, for example, in other countries, in other Arab countries, many teachers say different information. So one say this, one say this, one say this. So it's very confusing also. And also because there are not many articles or written pieces, you know, about dance, about music, about yeah, just dance. So it's very difficult for us because it's like you hear something and then you say it and it's a different version, and then you hear something else and it's a different version. And also because it's not written, you know. So this is, I think we have to push and to just like try to write more, try to create more articles, more research about the dance from good sources, or at least different sources, and you contrast and you try to go as close, as you say, as close to the source as you can.
Yeah, but the most important, and it's very dangerous, is you need to know and to know, and you need to know which teacher to select, which book to select, because it's those informations they are not always right. Even teachers from the source, they are not acknowledged. They can lead you far and out of the subject and out of the box. So this is very critical, and I think that maybe because there is not a lot of articles that are written in Spanish, but I have wrote on the divas few articles that are explaining these things, and were translated. Some were translated by Stephanie as well, some by other dancers from various countries of Latin America. And I will be so pleased if you repost them. I can give you the links, so it will help all the dancers who are interested in this knowledge to get to know all about those details.
Will do, we will.
Yes, I think that it's very complicated for us, because maybe we can find, as you said, teachers or dancers from these countries, but they have a grown information, or they are not studying as well, so they can give us something that we believe it is true because he or she is from this country, but at the end it's not the right information. So it's very complicated, and that's why we want to search for more information, for more sources, and share this all, because we are talking about a global community from dance. So we have to be sure what are we doing, what are we sharing with the students we are presenting to our audience in Latin America.
So listen what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this dance, this Arabic dance, is not a specific dance to any, a particular dance to any one country. It's for Arabic countries. You get to know this dance maybe from the movies of Egyptian movies. That's why some people, they thought that this is Egyptian art, but it's not. It's Arabic. And I have also one time posted on the Divas about the music of our grandmothers that used to dance on it, and it was in the old centuries, still alive, and still people dancing on them at the weddings, and some are very famous, and you still dancing on them. And me, as a folklore, without knowing that they are from this region, which is Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. You think it's Egyptian maybe, but they are not. So it's because of the movies. This has conflicted things a bit for even and especially for the foreigners. But Oriental dance is not exclusive for any country, but it's for the whole Arabic countries. Some are trying to make it exclusive for them, even the Britons, which is wrong.
So Amani, going back to the Lebanon dances, there is something called a Lebanon stick, like a saya in Egypt.
Yes. This subject have been I have been asked very much about this subject, and I also have wrote an article about it. I think you know about it, but in Lebanon, we don't have the stick dance as in Said. We have what we call the bamboo. The bamboo, it was like maybe 40 to 50 centimeters long, with a revert from the same material, or a bowl. And this thin bamboo, okay, was very flexible. And if you hit somebody on, okay, with this bamboo, it hurts so much. So this bamboo, usually it was carried by men as a sign of strength, as a prestige, as a power or something. So it was just as a show off. And why, if it happened that sometimes they, while they are holding or carrying this bamboo, they used to make a solo dance uh, for maybe 1 minute, two, or a couple of minutes, not more of this, because usually dabki dance, the group dance, but solo can be done for 1 or 2 minutes, but not more than this. So the bamboo, they used to hold it with the hands, with the fingers. They used to roll it on the fingers. They used to, uh, the way they use it, it is totally different from a stick. Because the stick, even if it's a bamboo, but it's hard, big, you have to use it with your whole hand, but the bamboo not with the whole hand. And the way they dance with it is different. Now, unfortunately, this bamboo does not exist anymore. So some, they are swapping this bamboo with the longest stick or shortest stick, and they hold it from the middle, if you see. So because the bamboo, they used to hold it also sometimes from the middle, not from one side as it is for Saidi dance. The leader, they carry also or hold a napkin, okay, a napkin, uh, just made like a braid napkin. They used to roll it. The leader also, okay, play with a napkin, or sometimes they go as a solo with a sword, okay. So we have the bamboo, we have the napkin, and we have the sword. And the more you go from the shore, from the coast to the mountains, to Syria, the more they work with a sword. The more you go to the shore, to the coast, the more they use this napkin or the bamboo. But stick, as a stick, or what you call it, stick, no, we don't use it in dance.
So it's always, you were saying about these elements, like the scarf or the napkin, or the little stick in dabke, just in dabka.
In dabke, and we use also these scarves as female, but not made as a braid, but it's like like a free scarves, okay. They work like this, and they show with the scarves like a tissue or something. So this is for female. Also, female can dance with a sword. A female can dance with a sword.
And dabke, this is all dabke with the sword, and also dabke.
Dabke with a sword, as dabke, it's a different pattern. It's a different style for women. It's different. There are many dances for the women to dance with a sword. But usually dabke is a dance group, and dabke is hard. Usually women, they don't take the hard pattern in dabke. Only men. They do the hard steps. They just jump up and then they go down. Usually it's for men. I'm talking to you what is in general. Now we have some specification. Some they are trying to show off there as a woman, but usually this is what is the folklore.
Okay, so men in Lebanon usually dance just dabke, or perhaps a little bit of Arabic also, like you can see perhaps a little bit in Egypt, or just in Lebanon they dance dabka and that's it.
What you call Arabic dance or Oriental dance is only for females, not for males. But the males who try to dance dabke, they have been some they were just like gays or trying to make money because and I saw this in India as well, because for at some places it was really a taboo for a woman to dance, and as long as they make their living from dancing, so they try to imitate women. But usually, this dance is only for females, not for men.
Yeah, because for example, in Egypt, you can see men dancing. It could be sha'abi or it could be something else, but you see them doing what they call just raqs, you know, just their normal dance, their social dance. So in Egypt is you see them usually, you see them in the nightclubs. They are not just doing some steps of Asaya of the south of Said, but they are doing a little bit of raqs also. So I was wondering if Lebanon is the same or
You
they
mean
just
Raqs Shari?
yeah.
You mean Raqs Sharki? You mean Raqs Sharki? Even in Egypt, it was the same. Even in Lebanon, it was the same. But if you're talking about exceptions, no. Yes, we have many now. They are dancing Oriental. Some are teachers. Usually, teachers they have been always mixed. A lot of dance teachers. They were teaching Raqs Sharki, and they were men. But I'm talking about this dance was made for whom? You're asking me about the origin, okay? The origin, Raksharki is for women, and the folklore is for men and for women, depend of the dance, okay? Uh, Even in Egypt, what you are seeing now is something that it was not frequent before, neither in Lebanon, neither in Egypt, neither at any other country. It was something weird. We have never seen this before until recently.
Okay, so Amani, for example, in Mexico, is common to see dabke with other elements, you know, not just what you say about the handkerchief or the little stick, but sometimes it's in other countries of Latin America, it's common to see dabka with different elements, like fire or Isis wings, you know. It's not common in all the countries, but maybe Stephanie has seen it in Mexico.
Maybe like kind of fusion with the pop music, with the most modern music to make dabke with this kind of props like the asaya, like the Isis wings, like veil, like fire, with something, some props like from show, from performance, for more thing that the traditional dabke. What do you think about it?
I think that they were trying to add something new to their performance, so they mixed these things. I don't know if people were enjoying what they were seeing, because it's uh, it's not authentic, it's not original. So I prefer if they can seek for more, to enjoy people with more authenticity, because folklore is big and wide. So unfortunately, this chaotic situation is running everywhere.
I think that we have a grown idea here in Mexico, unfortunately, what is about dancing like with a Lebanon style or with a Lebanon feeling. It's being used in some kind of short costumes, or using some high heels with a lot of props, and we don't have the difference if we are using music just from dabke or we are using Lebanon music from Oriental dance. So this is a very big confusion, and we could see maybe dancing dabke with a wrong costume, not with the traditional, I mean with a bedlag, in with the different music. So that's the question with all the dancers, because we want to know if it's a possible fusion that we could do, or this not good, and we have to try into this then try to make the traditional dances not using this kind of fusion.
if you watch the Golden Era movies, black and white one, you will see that most of the dancers they were wearing the high heel shoes. It's not only Lebanon, even but the first who took off her shoes it was Sonia Jamal, and she was called barefoot dance because she was the first who was dancing barefoot. So this is a wrong idea. So there's a lot of wrong stereotypes that are running about dancing, and wearing a short skirt. If you just try to make to review what was on the dance scene in the Middle East and North Africa, you see that it was not only in Lebanon that who wore this short skirt. It was for just because to attract and to attract audience in this way, which is I don't like myself, because for me to attract audience is to attract the audience for your art and to your art, not your body. And this is I believe it's there is a lack of dancing and art to give to the audience and to perform. So they try to manipulate that way. And this props or accessories on the head. We don't have this here. I don't know where they get it or why they call it like this. Maybe I don't understand. So, but this is not in Lebanon. This is not. I don't understand how they call it Lebanese. You're asking me, and I'm telling you what the authentic things that is here.
I think that we have to looking for the right source because we don't have a lot of information. And yeah, it's maybe a taboo or a secret why they are doing this, and they call it this is a Lebanon style. I mean, in Mexico, this is the Lebanon style. And if you want to dance like a Lebanese, you have to do this. You have to use this kind of costume. You have to use some kind of technique. So the people who are studying this dance think that they are this right. So if I want to dance like a Lebanon, I have to do this because this kind of community of dancers are doing this. So if I am not have another teacher or someone else to ask, I'm going to believe that this is the truth, and they started to sharing in a grown way. So I think that is very important to have another kind of information because people don't know what are they doing, and they are just doing this like a Lebanon style, and it's not true.
You can ask me whenever you want, and I'm telling you what is the authentic things, what is the Lebanese dance, or what is in Lebanon, and I think you can go back to my videos, to my dancing videos. You can see what I'm doing. So of course I have my style, and others they have their own styles. But at the end, um, maybe I was giving the biggest shows in Lebanon. I was giving the most sophisticated things, and I have never done this.
Exactly.
Stephanie, you have another question for Amani?
Yes. How do you see the dance in our days comparing with it was 10 years ago?
What I'm seeing that first of all the number of dancers became huge. It's global now. What is good that you see that how much they are exciting to learn this dance, to learn also the culture, etc. And this is something very good. They pay all their time, attention, and money to learn this art, which is very beautiful. And this is the good thing. The what they need to, to work on it is to learn more about this dance, whether in the research, the culture. Also, I want them to look back to the golden era time to see, because it was in the era of the beauty. Maybe it's very classic, but it was the era of the beauty, of the elegance. So this is what we need this time. We need the elegance, we need the beautiful things, because Oriental dance or Raqs Shar'i or Arabic dance is the dance of the woman who is a queen of beauty. She needs to be a queen of beauty not only in her shape, but also in her performance, in her behavior on stage, and the language of her dance. Because dancing is a language. It's not enough to know the technique. We need to know how to dance, how to perform, how. I always say this, that dancing is a language. So maybe you learn Spanish and you memorize a lot of the vocabulary and the palabras, but you don't know how to compose a phrase, a sentence. So you cannot reach people, and this is what we need at this time. At this time in today's dance, we need to learn how to compose a phrase in dancing. So it's not their fault. It's not the fault of the dancers, but because a lot of dancers of the source, they like this too. And unfortunately, they have opened uh, they have opened the doors for dancers who are looking only to make money, whatever the ways are, and they gave a very bad image to the dancer and to the dance. Unfortunately, some dancers, even they are dancing in Egypt, I cannot explain what I feel when what I felt when I saw them, because it was only once that I saw them. It was enough for me to feel that pain, how they are destroying this image and this history and this art, which is an ancient art, which is, we need to be very proud to have this from thousands years ago till now. So it's a treasure that we need to put it in a museum and to keep on its beauty. Unfortunately, we have lost it now.
Exactly. So these are like the recommendations or the suggestions or the tips that you can give to us as students, as teachers also, just like keep track of the root, the origin, get inspired from that era, the golden era, and don't lose the connection with the old dance and the dance, you know, the essence of the dance, as you say. Respect yourself and be creative, but try to just don't lose the focus and don't lose the essence of Oriental dance. This is what you suggest for students
Yes,
and teachers that are hearing us.
and teachers, just try to focus and see who is your teacher. Some they present themselves as teachers. They are not. They are traders. They are not teachers. They just want to sell you something that they turn this dance into commodity. It's really bad. It's really bad. So you need to know. You need to know who to select as a teacher or to follow. Please, this is very important.
Yes. So, Amani, can you tell us, please, what are you doing in these days? What are your projects? What are you working on?
Well, actually, a lot of my projects were canceled due to COVID-19. But for the time, I was thinking to give online classes, because a lot have been asking me. Well, I'm not in love with dance classes, because I feel sometimes disconnected with my students, because being in a class can get the soul and the spirit in. So, but because they are asking me, I will try to start this as a project and to see the impact on myself first, because I need to feel it and to be happy with it, so the students will be happy as well. So this is my project for the next month, inshallah. We will try to start and to see how to manage it because of the situation here and the banks, and I don't know. So I need to see how to make it, how to manage it.
Perfect. I think that you will have many, many students from all the world waiting for your classes.
Inshallah, I don't know, inshallah, and I will put the program and I will post it. I will post it. I will post the program when it's done because I will start with something little in order to see how it will be, and then the program will be bigger and bigger, inshallah.
Perfect. So Amani, thank you so much for sharing this time with us, for answer all the questions. I know that we have many questions with a short time, but thank you. We are happy to have you here. And if the girls has some question, or the people who are watching this interview, maybe they can write you on your Facebook, on your Instagram.
Usually Facebook, the divas, they can ask me whatever they want. I can because I prefer Facebook. I'm not a fan of Instagram and etc. And I was maybe a little bit far from the divas because I was very busy lately. But I will be very happy to answer them, and I will send to you maybe the links that dancers would be interested to read about some articles about the things that we have been talking about. And if anything else you need to ask, also you're welcome.
Perfect. María, ¿quieres decir algo más?
No. Estamos bien? No. Thank you, Amani, for everything. Thank you for all the information that you gave us. Yes, because we have many doubts here, as we were saying, that different sources, different information. So we appreciate a lot your time and just how you explain to us everything and the important tips that you gave us, just to be creative, respect the art, study hard, read, look for good sources, respect yourself, and respect the dance. So I thank you for those inspiring words.
I want to thank you too for your time and for waking up so early and to be ready at 8 o'clock in the morning. I really am very happy. I just want to ask you one thing. If I want to start my classes online, what would you expect to be the first classes?
For me, I guess a little bit of theory and context, just these general ideas of how is your dance or the dance, how it developed the dance in Lebanon. And this what you say, that is not just from the Egyptian or other cultures, that the dance is from many, many different countries. So just, I will start. Yeah, exactly. So I will start or I will expect just like, so you can, how can I say, start by clarifying, these concepts. And then technique, maybe some combinations, technique, choreography, styles, Yeah, but I will start from, or at least for me, it's very important just to have information here so I can understand, because if I don't have anything here, I cannot move. So for me, that will be very good. And because, other teachers that, for example, the Egyptian teachers, they are saying a lot of stuff, but we are not hearing a lot of Lebanese teachers, or teachers from other Arab countries. So this is the perfect opportunity just to talk about this, about a dance that is not just from one nationality, but different countries, and talking about the styles also. What is your opinion about this? Because it will create people talking about this and this and this, so people can just think, oh, so it's not what he say the only correct and the truth. you know, we have other, how can I say, other information, other answers, other sources. So I will start from that. And then of course, technique and combinations.
Yes, I think the most
What about you,
important is,
Stefan?
yes, theoretical things, talking about the different styles, maybe of the every region of Lebanon, every the rhythms, the musicians, the, I don't know, the many other dancers from the past in Lebanon, other kind of dance, because maybe we don't know, we don't have reference from dancers, sorry, dancers from Lebanon, maybe you and other names, but past and the other years, what was the dance, what you used to dance into your family, into your festivities or your celebration, how they dance, how they mix this culture and music. And as you said, maybe you see some dancer and you cannot identify it is from Lebanon or it is from Egyptian or it is from where, because they are using the same technique with a different, I mean, with a different flavor, with a different feeling. I think that it's very, that would be most interesting than learning a choreography or something like that. And of
Mhm.
course, as you say that you have movements or dances from women and from men, I think that we could have information about this difference.
Mhm. And also,
Yes.
just to enjoy your style, you know, because your style is lovely, is feminine. You are always a queen dancing, you know. So,
Elegant.
and you connect us with how can I say, the majestic, you know, of the dance, you know, how to be just a queen in the stage and not just like, you know, like
Entertainment.
yeah. So just to connect ourselves to that feeling of, I don't know, how can I say this, of pride and art, you know, how to bring again the art from the Oriental dance that nowadays is very just commercial. So that will be super nice.
I really appreciate your opinion because I need it so much. I was trying, my question is, I was trying during this interview to use very simple words in English. So everybody, even whom they don't, English is not their mother tongue, so they can understand what I'm saying. So I hope if it's clear, so maybe in my dance classes, I will use the simple language so can everybody understand it. And it's not complicated to anyone, inshallah. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your opinion. And I wish you a very good day. Take care of yourself and we keep in touch.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for all
So,
the one who were watching us. Hope they have enjoyed the interview, and the time has passed without even feeling that it was more than an hour. But I have enjoyed myself.
thank you so much, Amani. Thank you.